Adolf Hitler, April 20th, 1889. Braunau am in Austria. A customs officer's wife gives birth to her fourth child. She names him Adolf. Two of her previous children have already died in infancy. She holds this one with a ferocity that borders on obsession. She will never let him fail. She will never let him fall. She loves him in a way that leaves no room for the real world. His father, Alois, is a different story. Alois is brutal, controlling, and deeply disappointed in his son. Adolf wants to be an artist. Alois wants a civil servant. Every dream Adolf has, his father destroys. By the time Alois dies, Adolf is 13, the damage is already done. By his early 20s, Adolf Hitler is a homeless, failed artist sleeping in a Vienna shelter, twice rejected by the Academy of Fine Arts. Watching the city around him, bitter, invisible, certain the world has denied him what he deserves. Then comes the war. World War I. Hitler finds, for the first time in his life, a place where he belongs, a purpose, a uniform. When Germany loses, he is devastated, not just as a soldier, but as a man who has finally found an identity. Someone, he decides, must be to blame. And he knows exactly who. What follows is history, the rise of the Nazi Party, the hypnotic speeches, the stadiums filled with hundreds of thousands chanting his name. By 1933, Adolf Hitler is Chancellor of Germany. By 1939, the world is at war. By 1945, 60 million people are dead. On April 30th, 1945, with Soviet forces closing in on Berlin, Adolf Hitler shoots himself in his underground bunker. He is 56 years old. Psychologists who studied Hitler identified paranoid personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and sadistic traits. But the core of Hitler was something every human being can recognize: a humiliated child who never healed. His father told him he was worthless. The Art Academy told him he had no talent. The war told him Germany deserved better. And Hitler spent the rest of his life proving every single one of them wrong, at the cost of 60 million lives. The most dangerous person in the world is not the one born evil. It is the one who was broken, never healed, and was handed power before they could. Joseph Stalin, December 18th, 1878. Gori, Georgia. A cobbler's son is born in a poor household at the edge of the Russian Empire. His name is Iosif Vissarionovich Jugashvili. His father is a drunk who beats him until there is blood in his urine. His mother scrubs floors to survive. By the time he is 7, smallpox has scarred his face permanently. By the time he is 12, a carriage accident has left his left arm 2 inches shorter than his right. He is small. He is scarred. He is humiliated every day. But he is also brilliant. He sings in the church choir. He writes poetry. He graduates first in his class. His mother, who loves him with a ferocity that mirrors Hitler's mother across the border, wants him to become a priest. He attends seminary. He reads Marx instead. And everything changes. He robs banks. He organizes strikes. He is arrested, exiled to Siberia, escapes, arrested again, exiled again, escapes again, 7 times. Each exile makes him colder. Each betrayal makes him more certain of one thing: trust no one. No one. He changes his name. Iosif Jugashvili becomes Joseph Stalin, Man of Steel. The name is not a description. It is a promise. By 1929, Stalin is the undisputed ruler of the Soviet Union, and the terror begins. He does not trust his generals. He has them shot. He does not trust his allies. He has them shot. He does not trust his doctors. A physician who diagnoses him as paranoid is dead within 24 hours. Between 1936 and 1938, Stalin signs the death warrants of over 700,000 people. He writes the word scum next to their names before signing. On March 5, 1953, Joseph Stalin is found on the floor of his bedroom, unable to move. He has suffered a stroke. His inner circle stands around him for hours, too terrified to call a doctor, too terrified not to. He dies 4 days later. He is 74 years old. Psychologists identified paranoid personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and sadistic traits. But the key to Stalin is simpler than any diagnosis. He was a boy who learned very early that the world was a place where the strong hurt the weak. His father taught him that. Siberia confirmed it. And when he became the most powerful man on earth, he did to millions what his father had done to him. He made sure no one would ever be stronger than him again. The paranoia was not madness. It was a survival strategy. From a child who had survived by never trusting anyone. The tragedy is that it worked. Mao Zedong. December 26th, 1893. Shaoshan, Hunan, China. A peasant farmer's son is born, the third child, the only one to survive infancy. His mother names him Zedong, to shine on the east. She raises him with a devotion bordering on worship. His father raises him with a fist. Mao grows up reading, not the Confucian classics his father demands, but stories of rebels, outlaws, warriors who overthrew empires. He is not interested in farming. He is not interested in the arranged marriage his father forces on him at 14. He walks away from both. He is going to change China. He is certain of it. By the time he is in his 30s, Mao has witnessed public executions and discovered something about himself that will shape the rest of his life. He later writes, "The sight of violence conjured in him a kind of ecstasy never experienced before." He is not horrified. He is inspired. What follows is one of history's most extraordinary rises. A peasant boy who becomes a revolutionary, a guerrilla commander, and finally, on October 1st, 1949, the undisputed ruler of the world's most populous nation. Standing on Tiananmen Gate, he announces to 600 million people, China has stood up. Then begins the dying. The Great Leap Forward. A forced industrialization campaign that kills between 15 and 45 million people in 4 years. The Cultural Revolution. A decade of terror in which intellectuals are humiliated, families destroyed, and anyone who questions Mao is sent to labor camps. His little red book becomes the only permitted thought in a nation of hundreds of millions. His portrait replaces God in churches. He is worshipped as a deity. He believes it. On September 9th, 1976, Mao Zedong dies in Beijing. He is 82 years old. He is responsible for more deaths than any other leader in human history. Psychologists identified narcissistic personality disorder and a paranoid personality disorder. But what made Mao uniquely terrifying was this. He genuinely believed that suffering was necessary. That violence was beautiful, that millions of deaths were simply the price of greatness. He did not kill despite believing in the revolution. He killed because of it. The most dangerous dictator is not the one who knows he is wrong. It is the one who is absolutely certain he is right. Saddam Hussein. April 28th, 1937. Al-Auja, Iraq. Before Saddam Hussein is even born, his father dies. His mother attempts suicide, attempts to end the pregnancy. She fails both times. When Saddam is born, she refuses to look at him. He is sent to live with his uncle. At 3, he returns to his mother, who has remarried. His stepfather beats him regularly, sometimes to wake him up. By age 10, Saddam is carrying a gun. His uncle fills his head with one idea: greatness. You are destined to be the next Saladin, the hero of the Arab world. The boy who was rejected before he was born begins to build a new identity. He is special. He is chosen. In 1979, Saddam becomes president of Iraq. On his first day in office, he calls a meeting of the entire Ba'ath Party leadership. Names are read aloud. Each person named is led out of the room. Saddam watches, smoking a cigar. 66 people are arrested. 22 are executed within weeks. Some shot by their own colleagues, forced to prove loyalty with blood. Chemical weapons used against his own Kurdish citizens. 5,000 killed in a single day. His own sons-in-law lured back from exile with promises of forgiveness. And immediately executed. Food tasters for every meal. Never sleeping in the same place twice. On his 60th birthday, a Quran written in his own blood. 27 liters of it. In 2003, American forces invade Iraq. Saddam Hussein is found hiding in a hole in the ground. He is executed by hanging on December 30th, 2006. Psychologists identified malignant narcissism. The most dangerous combination of narcissism, paranoia, and sadism. But the key to Saddam is in that first moment. A mother who refused to look at her newborn son. Every portrait across Iraq, every title, Anointed One, Great Father of the Nation, was a child screaming to be seen. He was not born a monster, he was born unwanted, and he made sure the world would never look away. Kim Jong-il, February 16, 1941. A boy is born in a Soviet military camp in Siberia. His father is a guerrilla commander being trained by Stalin. The official story, however, is very different. According to North Korea, the boy was born on a sacred mountain. A double rainbow appeared in the sky. A new star lit up the heavens. He learned to walk at 3 weeks. He was talking at 8 weeks. He was, from the moment of his birth, divine. His mother dies when he is 7. His father, now the absolute ruler of North Korea, has no time for grief. The boy grows up in palaces, surrounded by servants, isolated from the outside world. He is told every single day that he is destined for greatness. He believes it completely. When his father dies in 1994, he inherits a starving nation. 2.5 million people die in a famine. He responds by building nuclear weapons. While his people eat grass, he imports lobster from Japan, cognac from France, and has a personal sushi chef flown in from Tokyo. His pleasure palaces house dozens of women selected for him. His wine cellar holds 10,000 bottles. When he dies in 2011, North Koreans are required to weep in public. Those who do not cry hard enough are sent to labor camps. Psychologists describe a man imprisoned by his own mythology. Raised to believe he was divine, he had no framework for failure, no capacity for doubt. Every famine, every crisis, every failure was someone else's fault, because a god cannot be wrong. The cruelest dictators are not those who hate their people. They are those who simply never learned that their people were real. Pol Pot, May 19, 1925. A small village in rural Cambodia. A farmer's son who wins a scholarship to Paris, reads Rousseau and Marx, and returns home with a blueprint for paradise. A Cambodia without cities, without money, without schools, without glasses. Because glasses mean you are an intellectual, and intellectuals are enemies of the people. On April 17, 1975, the Khmer Rouge marches into Phnom Penh. Within hours, 2 million people are forced out of the city at gunpoint. Hospitals are evacuated, patients still connected to IV drips pushed into the streets. Year zero has begun. History is being erased and rewritten from scratch. In 4 years, Pol Pot kills between 1.5 and 2 million people. 1/4 of Cambodia's entire population. Doctors, teachers, lawyers, monks, anyone who can read, anyone who speaks a foreign language, anyone who wears glasses. Children are taken from their parents and trained to report on them. Families are separated, destroyed, weaponized against each other. In 1979, Vietnam invades, and the regime collapses. Pol Pot escapes into the jungle. He lives there for nearly 20 years, still commanding what remains of his army. He dies in 1998. In his bed, never tried, never punished. Psychologists struggle to find the wound. Unlike Hitler or Stalin, there is no abusive father, no humiliating childhood. Pol Pot was mild-mannered, soft-spoken, and smiled often. That is what makes him the most disturbing figure on this list. He did not kill from rage, or fear, or paranoia. He killed from ideology. A pure, absolute, unshakable belief that he knew what was best for humanity. The most dangerous person in the world is not the one who is broken. Sometimes it is the one who is completely certain they are right, and has read enough books to convince themselves it is beautiful. Idi Amin, 1925. Northern Uganda. Born into poverty, no formal education, joins the British colonial army as a cook. He is large, charismatic, and utterly fearless. The British promote him, one of the first Ugandans to become an officer. They call him a splendid man, a natural leader. In 1971, he seizes power in a military coup. The world watches and waits. He seems reasonable at first. Then, the bodies start appearing in the Nile. Over 8 years, Idi Amin kills between 100,000 and 500,000 people. His preferred method: his enemies are brought to him alive. He asks them questions. Then he watches. His secret police, the State Research Bureau, operate out of a building where the screaming can be heard from the street. He reportedly keeps the severed heads of rivals in his refrigerator. He tells a journalist he has tried human flesh, but finds it too salty. He declares himself president for life, King of Scotland, conqueror of the British Empire, and the last King of Scotland. He orders all Asians expelled from Uganda within 90 days, destroying the country's economy overnight. In 1979, Tanzania invades. Amin flees. He lives in luxury in Saudi Arabia for the rest of his life. Never prosecuted, dying in 2003. Psychologists point to extreme narcissistic personality disorder with sadistic features. But what made Amin uniquely terrifying was the performance of it. The uniforms, the titles, the theatrics. He was not hiding his darkness behind a mask of normality like Bundy or Gacy. He was putting it on display. Amin understood something that most dictators miss. That spectacle is power. That if people are watching you in horror, they are watching you. And while they are watching, they are not acting. Muammar Gaddafi, 1942. He is born in a tent in the Libyan desert. A Bedouin boy from a poor, illiterate family. During the week, he sleeps in a mosque to attend school. On weekends, he walks 20 miles through the desert to visit his parents. He grows up watching his country occupied by foreigners, first Italians, then the British and Americans. He is angry from the beginning, and he is going to do something about it. In 1969, at the age of 27, he launches a bloodless coup against the Libyan king. He is young, idealistic, and genuinely popular. He kicks out the foreign military bases. He nationalizes the oil. He builds hospitals and schools. For a brief moment, he is the hero of the Arab world. Then something shifts. He declares himself the King of Kings of Africa, the guide of the 1st of September Great Revolution, the Imam of the Muslims. He designs his own military uniforms, elaborate, golden, theatrical. His bodyguards are all women, selected for their beauty. He has extensive plastic surgery to maintain his appearance. He writes a book, The Green Book, explaining how he has solved the problems of democracy, capitalism, and human civilization. He has it printed on pens. He has quotes from it played in pop songs. He believes every word. While his people grow poorer, he builds palaces. While Libya's oil wealth disappears into his family's accounts, he tells the world his people love him completely. When revolution breaks out in 2011, he insists the rebels are on drugs, that someone has put hallucinogens in their Nescafe. On October 20th, 2011, Gaddafi is found hiding in a drainage pipe near his hometown of Sirte. He is pulled out and killed by the crowd. Psychologists identified malignant narcissism with borderline features, the combination of grandiosity, and an absolute inability to process reality when it contradicts the self-image. But what makes Gaddafi fascinating is the trajectory. A poor Bedouin boy who genuinely wanted to liberate his people, and then got so drunk on power that he could no longer tell the difference between Libya and himself. He did not start as a monster. He became one gradually, so slowly that perhaps even he never noticed.